Hey, it's Becky. I wanted to share about our origin story in homeschool. Let me go ahead and share my screen real quick. This is so important because who am I and why should you even care about what I say about homeschool? And we are getting ready to launch our homeschooling Olympian program. And I want to make sure that you get on the wait list because by the time we've gone through these next few days of just chatting, you're going to want to know more. So I would love to have you on the inside. Our homeschooling journey began way back in the day when we had one child, where my husband said, our church is starting what they're calling a co-op school, where the parents are going to homeschool the kids, but inside a classroom. And I want us to do it. And I said, no, because I didn't think I could, and I didn't know how to teach. And I thought, well, homeschoolers are just weird. So I don't want to do that. And he said, Becky, do your best. Let's try it for a year. It'll support the church, it'll support the new school, but I really feel like this is the way we're supposed to educate our kids. And I want you to give it a full year and to do your best. And if at the end of the year we hate it, or we think that there's a better way, then absolutely we'll do something different. Well, he was right. I absolutely love teaching. And I was hooked on the whole process of being the one that gets to see the light bulbs go on in our kids from the first day that I sat with our kids to teach them. But I was also right too, because I didn't know what I was doing. And I had so much to learn that I spent a lot of that time just being terrified that I was going to mess up the kids. I was overwhelmed because there's so many curriculum choices and trying to figure out what a child needs to learn on any given day in any given school year. Overwhelming. And I chased so many curriculum rabbits. Should we do boxed curriculum? Should I put it all together? Should we just grab curriculum from the public school? And I honestly was confident that I was going to mess up at least one of our five kids, if not all of them. But we did it anyway, and we learned a lot along the way. There was a season in life that we had been homeschooling for a few years, and life forced a sudden slowdown where we had a friend that had a family tragedy. We had one of our sons needed major surgery again. I was pregnant again. And when I'm pregnant, my body stops functioning properly and I can't walk. So it made movement very difficult. And then the beautiful summer season came. And every single year in summer, I became my favorite homeschooler. Oh, I'd push the curriculum aside and I would do what I intuitively knew that I was supposed to do with my kids. For our kids, for our family, we would have breakfast. I'd write a memory verse on the board, and then we would do that as copy work. And I'd teach them how to doodle and draw, and we'd do some sort of art project and puzzles, and we'd explore and do all the things. Summer, especially in the first 5, 7 years of homeschool, was the best season for homeschooling for us because it wasn't about curriculum. It was parent led, focused into what the kids were excited about. And it was beautiful. The things that the kids did during the summer months far exceeded what we would do during the school year. I noticed that when I hid the curriculum and slowed down, homeschool was better. But I was afraid, even though I could see that the kids thrived under these types of situations, right? They weren't weighed down and bogged down by lesson 17 of this book and these 7 things that they must complete in order to say that they knocked 7th grade out of the park or whatever. And I was at that place where I could see clearly that when we focused on the relationships with each other and with our children, and we focused on mentoring them with their relationships with each other, and based on my husband's leading to focus on the heart and the character of the kids first, that would always trump academics, and learning that there was a whole season where I was freaking out about, not a season, but a day. I was freaking out about curriculum because we had 3 or 4 homeschool kid ages. And I had thought that it would be best to do each one their own set of curriculum. And I was panicked. And my husband said, no, 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 no. Push the curriculum aside. What's our goal? By the time the kids graduate high school, what is it that we want them to know? And we developed our master homeschool goals, which have been our guiding path, our guiding light since then. And we also learned to enjoy living in life together as we learned together. You know, the best way to raise up excellent learners is to be a learner yourself. And so we leaned into this curriculum. I could see this battle between which curriculum were we using, what materials were we using to educate our kids, and loving the freedom of just hitting them at their passions, hitting them at where their talents were, where their interests were. And it was this constant wrestling match going back and forth. Yes, when I lean into what they love to do, they thrive, but we really should do some curriculum. And it was this back and forth, a teeter-totter, if you will. And I started to share the homeschool journey with other people from a place of, at first, just to validate what I was doing, to be kind of an online journal, if you will, of our path in our life as homeschoolers. It eventually turned into some on-school or online mentoring. I began working with and talking to and sharing with my neighbors. You know, the best way to learn is to share what you know with somebody else, and then to make sure that they understand what you're saying, right? And so I started doing that with a neighbor next door. There was a group of friends that we would start to get together. We started to meet weekly, and we would share what we were doing inside of homeschooling, meal planning, raising kids, everything. We just shared life with each other. And then fast forward a couple of years, I started teaching some workshops at the local charter school that we were in. Remember, we've done every kind of homeschool. I chased all the rabbits, right? So we did public school at our kitchen table. We did buy boxed curriculum. We purchased curriculum with friends where everybody bought a different set, and then we swapped curriculum for a couple of years. I wrote curriculum, designed curriculum, and did no curriculum. Just all the different things. If you can imagine it as a homeschooler, we did it. But I found myself in another season where I started to share workshops, and the workshops always boiled down to the core. Focus on your home, get everything in place there, establish your routines, teach from the top down, like focus on your older kids first, make sure that you're giving them projects to work on and an ability to share what they're learning, and all of these things, how to teach multiple ages and stages. Eventually, over the course of 25 years, we got to the other side where I can look back clearly at our own homeschool journey, but then how we've been able to tweak and modify what we've done in order to reach out and help bring other people further and faster in the freedom side of homeschooling than we were able to. And now we're on this other side where our kids are launching or launched into life. And we can clearly see everything, that every stage of homeschool and what worked and what didn't work. And then we've been able to put together this Homeschooling Olympians program, which I'm super excited. It's, if you're watching this now, and it's before September 26, 2023, it's not launched yet, it's coming. But it is this all-encompassing, transformative program that helps you move from being gripped by curriculum, like I was, where it nagged me, like it whispered in my ear, you're going to fail, you're not choosing the right things, your kids aren't going to be smart enough, they're not going to succeed. And then this other side of me was like, yeah, but if I lean into what they love and I focus on their heart, it's so much more joy filled, and it's so much better. Like the kids learn, but they're learning more naturally. And then, yeah, but you're going to mess up. And so this battle back and forth, it has the major component of having this mindset reset so that you can actually put a buffer between the whispering voice that's nagging at you that you're going to mess up your kids, and the voice inside of you that knows how your kids tick and knows that if you lean into relationships and character and attitude first, And then you wrap what the kids love with academic things like reading and movies and historical connections and scientific discoveries and such, that you know your kids are going to flourish and thrive, especially in those middle ages. And then it has the ability to connect you with homeschoolers that are in the same stages as you are, and then get connected with someone like me that can breathe confidence into you, or ideas or encouragement when you have specific challenges and hurdles to jump through. Oh, I'm so excited about this. I'm going to encourage you to get on the wait list, because when the doors open, we're going to be diving deep into just everything that it takes to get you from being overwhelmed as a homeschooler into this new place of just the smell of joy, just the release of knowing that what you're doing is enough. And I'll leave you with this one story. I took a page out of my husband's playbook. He's always saying that, who you will be 5 years from now is so dependent on who you hang out with and the books that you read, the ideas that you put in your head. So when I went on a walk this morning, I was listening to a book called Atomic Habits. And he shares this story, or this analogy, where you set an ice cube on your kitchen table, but the surrounding temperature of the room is 25, 26 degrees. And you slowly start to increase the temperature in the room. 26 degrees, nothing happens. 27, nothing happens. 28, 29, 30, 31 degrees, still nothing happens. Turn up one more degree and the ice starts to melt. Homeschooling, from the standpoint of leaning into what your kids love to do and wrapping academics around those things that you are very interested in, things that your kids are very interested in, and you touch math, science, history, writing, art, music, food, all those things around that topic. For years, it'll look like the ice cube sitting on the table with nothing changing, but their foundation is clicking up a little bit at a time. They're becoming more independent. They're understanding that you can take something and break it into different parts and pieces. They start to set goals and to break it down into actionable steps as you work on projects and project planning. Their confidence starts to raise as they have opportunity to share with mom or dad or grandma or a neighbor what it is that they're learning. 1 degree, 1 degree, 1 degree, 1 degree. There's a point in homeschool that your child will grab hold of something that they want to do when they grow up, or they want to be when they grow up. And suddenly everything that they learned will fix and focus on that goal, and they will design a path with your help, with your coaching, with your mentoring. They'll design a path to start plotting their way to achieve that goal. The ice will start to melt, but in the opposite positive direction. They will take the reins of their life, and then nothing will be able to hold them back. It'll be beautiful. And that's what Homeschooling Olympians offers. It offers the coaching and the training to know that slower way, where the ice cube looks like it's doing nothing, it's just sitting on the table. It's really just storing up foundational skills until the right situation, the right topic, the right goal comes to mind, and then releases your child into life. This way of teaching never fails, because it allows your child to feel seen, to be seen, and it's beautiful. It's beautiful. So get on the waiting list if you're not inside Homeschooling Olympians already, and let's get to this. That our kids have so much to learn, and this homeschooling life is so filled with love and joy, and can be overwhelming. So it's best to not do it alone. If you have questions, you can reach me at abetterwaytohomeschool@gmail.com, or you can learn more at homeschoolingolympians.com.